Good day, Excellencies, representative of trade promotion organizations, members of the diplomatic corps, industry leaders, and valued partners from around the world. It is truly a pleasure to welcome all of you today as we share more about MIHAS 2026 and, more importantly, how your organizations can strategically position yourself to capture opportunities within one of the fastest growing and most dynamic segments of global trade, the halal economy, with Southeast Asia as your gateway. Ladies and gentlemen, the halal economy today has evolved far beyond its traditional perception as a niche or faith-based market and has firmly established itself as a mainstream, multi-sector global economic force that continues to expand unprecedented pace. Currently valued at approximately $3.5 trillion, the global halal market is projected to grow to $5 trillion by 2030, driven not only by the needs of over 2 billion Muslim consumers worldwide, but increasingly by a broader global audience that values quality, safety, transparency, and ethical production standards. What makes this even more compelling is the breadth of the halal ecosystem, which now spans across food and beverages, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, Islamic finance, travel, digital platforms, and lifestyle industries, positioning it among the top economic sectors globally. This is not merely a trend, it represents a fundamental shift in global consumption patterns, supply chains, and trade flows. Ladies and gentlemen, if the halal economy represents the opportunity, then Southeast Asia represents the strategic gateway to unlocking that opportunity. ASEAN today is a region of immense economic significance with a combined GDP of $3.8 trillion, a population of over 600 million people, and one of the fastest growing middle-class segments in the world, driving strong demand across consumer and industrial sectors. Beyond its size, ASEAN's true strength lies in its connectivity and strategic positioning, serving as a bridge between major global markets, including China, India, and the Middle East, making it an ideal hub for companies looking to scale regionally and globally. Within this dynamic region, Malaysia offers a unique and compelling value proposition as a trusted entry point into both ASEAN and the broader global halal ecosystem. Malaysia's strength is built on decades of deliberate policy development, institutional credibility, and strong public-private collaboration, which have resulted in a globally recognized halal certification system widely regarded as a gold standard. Extensive trade linkages with over 200 countries worldwide, participation in major trade frameworks such as RCEP and CPTPP, providing enhanced market access. This positions Malaysia not merely as a production base, but as a connector of global supply chains, enabling businesses to integrate seamlessly into regional and international markets. Ladies and gentlemen, it is within this context that MIHAS plays a pivotal role. MIHAS is not simply an exhibition, it is a strategic market entry platform designed to facilitate real business outcomes. It provides global companies with the opportunity to access Asia-Pacific's sizable and growing consumer base, engage with verified and credible halal suppliers and partners, establish distribution networks across ASEAN and beyond, and position themselves within a high-growth, future-oriented ecosystem. The strength of MIHAS lies not only in its scale, but in its ability to deliver measurable results. In 2025 alone, MIHAS generated 6.05 billion ringgit Malaysia in total sales, featured 2,400 booths, and attracted more than 50,000 visitors from 80 countries. More significantly, our international sourcing program, INSP, delivered 3.63 billion ringgit Malaysia in export value, accounting for 60% of total sales, by facilitating highly targeted business matching between global buyers and qualified suppliers. Complementing this is our hosted buyer program, which serve as a strategic platform to enhance the participation of global SMEs within the Southeast Asian, particularly Malaysian supply chain. Carefully curated for our exhibitors, this initiative ensures meaningful business matching opportunities with Malaysian sellers, enabling deeper engagement and tangible outcomes that go beyond what the digital MIHAS platform alone can offer. This demonstrates clearly that MIHAS is not just a networking platform, it is a result-driven trade ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, our vision for MIHAS extends well beyond Malaysia. Through initiatives such as MIHAS at Dubai and MIHAS at Shanghai, we are actively expanding our footprint to bring the halal ecosystem closer to global markets. These international editions have already generated more than $1.25 billion, reflecting strong demand and reinforcing MIHAS as a truly global platform for halal trade. MIHAS offers access to a diverse and integrated ecosystem, spanning 14 industry clusters, including food and beverages, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, Islamic finance, e-commerce, logistics, tourism, and more. This diversity enables businesses to not only enter a single sector, but to participate in an interconnected value chain, unlocking multiple growth opportunities simultaneously. At the same time, innovation is where our future lies. For this reason, we are expanding beyond traditional sectors to ensure that MIHAS remains relevant in an increasingly dynamic global landscape. Central to this is the responsible application of artificial intelligence, empowering more precise data-driven decision-making and strengthening our ability to drive smarter, more effective trade outcomes. What makes the halal ecosystem particularly powerful is its ability to ensure that innovation progresses in tandem with strong regulatory frameworks, creating a balance that few industries are able to achieve. Malaysia's governance structure does not restrict innovation. Instead, it provides a trusted foundation upon which businesses can innovate confidently, knowing that they are aligned with global expectations for quality, safety, and integrity. That means in today's environment where consumers demand transparency and accountability, halal is no longer a compliance requirement. It is a strategic competitive advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not merely inviting you to attend MIHAS, we are inviting you to become part of a growing global halal ecosystem, because the future of the halal economy will not be shaped by any single country, but by collaborative partnerships, integrated supply chains, and shared standards across borders. As we look ahead to MIHAS 2026, which will take place from 23rd to 26th of September in Kuala Lumpur, we warmly invite all of you to join us. Come and explore Southeast Asia as a strategic growth market, build meaningful partnerships, and unlock new opportunities within the global halal economy. Let us work together to shape a future that is not only economically vibrant, but also trusted, innovative, and globally connected. Thank you. We look forward to welcoming you to MIHAS 2026.
Thank you, Encik Baka, for the inspiring keynote. Your insights on Malaysia's leadership in the global halal ecosystem have truly set a powerful tone for today's briefing. Next, I am pleased to invite Mr. Isam Abdul Hamid, Director of the Halal F&B and Agro-Based Section, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, partners and industry friends. Thank you for taking this time to join us for this strategic briefing on MIHAS 2026. We truly appreciate your presence, and it's very encouraging to see such strong participation today. It clearly shows that we all recognize the growing importance of the halal economy, not just in Malaysia, but globally. As our CEO mentioned earlier, the halal industry today is no longer limited to just food and beverages. It has grown into a vibrant multi-sector ecosystem covering pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, Islamic finance, digital platforms, and even lifestyle industries. And what's interesting is that it's now attracting a much broader global audience, driven by demand for quality, safety, transparency, and ethical standards. These shifts present a real opportunity for businesses to position themselves in a fast-growing and future-ready market. At the same time, Southeast Asia, especially ASEAN, continues to stand out as a strategic growth region with strong economic fundamentals, a rising middle class, and excellent connectivity to global markets. This region offers immense potential for businesses looking to expand. And within this landscape, Malaysia plays a unique role. With our globally recognized halal certification, strong institutional support, and extensive trade networks, we are all well positioned as a trusted gateway into the global halal ecosystem. As highlighted earlier, MIHAS is not just an exhibition. It is a results-driven platform that connects businesses, facilitates trade, and delivers real outcomes. In fact, MIHAS last year recorded 6.05 billion ringgit, or equivalent to $1.5 billion in total sales. Through programs like the International Sourcing Program and Hosted Buyer Program, we have also been able to generate strong export opportunities, not just for Malaysia, but for our international partners as well. Building on this momentum, MIHAS 2026 will aim to go even further, creating more opportunities across sectors, strengthening partnerships, and helping businesses integrate into global supply chains. So today's session is not just about sharing information, it's really about getting aligned, being prepared, and working together. It's an opportunity for all of us to better understand how we can leverage MIHAS 2026 to unlock new opportunities and drive meaningful impact. We hope today's briefing will give you useful insights and practical ideas as you plan your participation. With that, thank you once again for your time and continued support. We look forward to your active participation throughout this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Isam, for those encouraging words. Now we move on to our next agenda. To kickstart our session, please join me in welcoming Mr. Aklan Peklab from ES Exhibition, who will be presenting on the best way to position your brand in MIHAS 2026. Mr. Aklan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Puan Muda. I hope that you guys can hear me very clear and loud. As you know, I'm Aklan Peklab, representing the new event manager for MIHAS this time around. As you can see that I'm actually will talk about how participate or positions your brand or establishment at MIHAS 2026, and of course for the rest of the remaining years of MIHAS in future. As you know that MIHAS this time is built upon a foundations of 14 carefully curated industry clusters and very vital components in the modern global halal economy. It range, from F&B to art and craft. It is an impactful ecosystem assisted with a innovation that will fuel new economic growth. Yeah. So strengthening, fortifying in this business, it's already done and still going. So what we want to know now is what's next. As we all agree, I guess in general, as you see on the screen, the 14th cluster is very important in the global halal economy for business and establishment to take advantage of. It has a diverse scope ranging from F&B halal ingredients, from F&B to Islamic art and craft. The exhibition covers the full halal value chain, definitely gives an impactful experience coupled with the innovation in the system will shape the fuel revenue growth and keep market share efficiency. Yeah. Okay, next. I will touch from the operationals and logistical matters. As you can see on the screen, this is the top view overall of levels and halls that's going to be used during the MIHAS 22nd series this year. Now, from the operation point of view, venue of the event will be in Malaysia International Trade Exhibition Center, MITEC in Kuala Lumpur. For those who has been in Malaysia, you're definitely aware. Now, this is an excellent venue, has a world-class large-scale expos, most are actually being held here. And of course, it's meant for trade shows and exhibitions, coupled with the modern infrastructures, the largest pillarless hall, high ceiling, heavy floor loading capacity, and the most important thing is that they have a top-notch logistical hall. Yeah, okay. As you can see here, every floor, except for the one in level 3, slightly less in terms of the size. The rest of the hall in level 1 and level 2, each of them has a gross area of almost about 15,000 square meters. So the one that in level 3, slightly less of 3,000, that constitute about 12,000 square meters in total, about net gross about over 40,000 square meters being utilized for MIHAS this time around. So as far as the take-up space net being used, it's half of it, about more than 21,000 square meters, equivalent to about 2,400 booths is going to be placed in this hall. Yeah, and as you can see, in level 1, both sides, left and right, as you can see, a small box highlighted in the green, in a goldish beige color. That will be the main entrance. On the right side, it's known as a north entrance, and left side is the south entrance. And every floors are connected with escalator every side, and in the middle, and of course with the lift. Yeah. Okay. So next. Okay. Before I touch in detail about this, let me just share about what's different. The different this time around in terms of the 4-plan management strategy that we have. MIHAS 2026 4 management strategy, this time around, we use so-called like a vertical anchor. And the one that we use vertical anchor here is the F&B because this is the crowd puller. So this model is trying to optimize visitors' distributions. We strategically concentrated F&B cluster within the central hall of every levels. This is one of it. This is level 1. To drive traffic through specialized sectors while curating the top level, which is level 3, as an elite showcase for sponsors, government, coincide with the prime ministers of Malaysia and also the dignitaries, VIPs, visitations. Why we did this? Mainly for 4 reasons. One is because we want to have equalized distributions. Placing F&B at the heart of every floor will definitely create a natural gravity. You have to pull visitors upward across all levels, eliminating dead zones, where almost all exhibitors in the past have actually complained for not being able to maximize the visitorships of during the show. Yeah, and then the other reason is because we want to have a seamlessly strategic flow of people visiting the shows. Yeah, to reach the high traffic, especially in the F&B zone, visitor must traverse the flanking specialized clusters, like education, retails, in level 1, hospitality in level 2. I will show it to you like here now on the screen. This will give a mandatory exposure model to ensure that niche exhibitor benefit from the massive F&B crowds. Yeah. Okay. The third one, we want to enhance the dwell time spent both visitors and exhibitors during the show. By dispersing F&B across the venue, we provide natural so-called recharge points on every floor, keeping visitors engaged within the exhibition environment for longer periods without fatigue or single overcrowded photo hall. Yeah. Okay. The last one in level 3 is being engineered, as I mentioned earlier, exclusive for Prime Minister of Malaysia and all VIPs. Visitation 4 with the opening ceremony, which I will show it to you later, is just adjacent to the hall in the ballroom, creates a high prestige walkthrough around where key sponsors, ministries, and country pavilions are strategically positioned for immediate VIP exposure and high-level diplomatic engagement. Yeah, this one. Okay. Let me just go back to the first level first. As you can see the narrative in the... Yeah, go back to the first. As you can see the narrative in level 1, we have about 6 cluster here. In total 14, we have 6 cluster here, plus sponsors. Yeah. And then we also have kitchens, MIHAS kitchens. And then also next to it, adjacent, we have the INSP and also Bio Lounge. We have education cluster, retail, franchise, services enabler. Just below it, we have sponsors, FMB, which is the vertical cluster. We have food technology packaging, e-commerce media, recreation, art, craft, and also another sponsors. All in all, about 6 cluster. And the reason why we want to do this, as you can see, the activities to support whatever clusters we have here to make it more dynamic. As you can see on top of F&B clusters there, we have this open kitchen stage. Well, this is actually normally we use in other places, popular for culinary theaters to engage visitors through sensory experience, transparencies, and interactions. The activities range from educational demo, high energy competitions, often featuring like live cooking demo, name it. So these are the places where you can actually utilize it to make, not just to exhibit and taking a booth, but to make your brand products to be more visible and interactive. Yeah. And of course, why we give priority sponsors in front of the doors there is, as you know, of their extra commitment. And this also will increase the show's credibility, aligning with their reputable brands, will help us, MIHAS, to reach through the sponsors marketing channel. Of course, it will help also enhance the attendee experience. And in the long term, the sustainability and success, that's the reason why location like this are designated for them. As you can see on the right side, the INSP hosted Bio Lounge, as you know, we need this because of the high-level business networking. And this is the place where it will take place. Yeah? Okay. As you can see from the bottom, you can see the red arrow there. That will be the entrance and the exit of the into and then out of the hall. Yeah. Okay. Next. Okay. This is the we have another remaining 5 cluster here plus country pavilion and also sponsors. As you can see from the left to the right, hospitality tourism cluster, pharmaceutical and medical, country pavilions, F&B, halal food ingredients, Islamic finance, and fintech. So we also have the MIHAS kitchen here, sponsor in front to give them more visibility because of the extra commitment. Of course, adjacent to it on the right side is the international sourcing program, the extensions of the other one right below. But this time we have the second and third day, the involvement programs of HDC, the Halal Development Corporation's program. Yeah. Okay. Level 3, please. Next. Okay, now this is a bit unique and interesting. because this is where the whole entire ecosystem, the stakes of the Malaysian government will be placed. Ministry, state agency association, and country pavilions. And why we put country pavilions there? Because just in case we give options for country pavilion to choose, if they want to be in the government's circle or they want to be in a purely trade, which is in level 2. As you can see now, why country pavilion we also put here, because it's very crucial, because it serves as the primary venue for nations to showcase their culture, innovation, as you know, and of course the economic strength and global audience. These definitely play a vital role in promoting, fostering international networking, also bilateral relationship, with Malaysian government. And also at the same time, of course, that this is also the opportunity for us to actually attract investors, tourists, and a business partner. As you can see, the experience zone, let's go to the activity that we place here within the main stage. I will go on the experience zone first. This is actually, in other words, we call it tech talks. For some they call. Crucial components like MIHAS this time around. It acts like educational thought leadership's counterpart to the commercial exhibition floor. They transform an expo. This expo from just a mere sales marketplace into a dynamic hub for industry innovations, knowledge sharing, and networking. So these are the places that we will open to all exhibitors, not only in this floor, for any exhibitor as far as the exhibitor is concerned in participating in the show. Next to it, if you need a room for meetings, a frequent signs and during the expo, the showcase, to formalize partnership, everything, we have an MOU area. And if you need a focused, high impact knowledge sharing session, business networking, to showcase your innovation, promote culture, or whatever you call it, we also have the mini studio just next to it. Then, of course, we have a modest fashion, cosmetic, personal care, women in expo, all are in a circle, just placed within main stage, because these are the place where there will be a demonstration, there will be some talks, and a fashion show if you want to do it. And we are working with a local influencer, international influencer. We are promoting international products that can be promoted or can be introduced. So this stage will take that. So take advantage of it. Yeah. Okay. So as far as this entire layout is concerned, we have about 14 clusters spread in every 3 levels. And then these are as far as the industry cluster and features are concerned, as you've seen on the floor plan. Yeah. Okay. Now, why we did this, just to share again with you guys, is we just want to make sure that your participations this time around for MIHAS 22nd series, we just want to make sure that we all of us optimize the layout, so that to facilitate the seamless interaction between the exhibitors, buyers, stakeholders, visitors. And also why we have all this zoning is because that all these 14 dedicated industry cluster, we want to maximize their visibility. And then the business matching opportunity spreading accordingly in all 3 levels will definitely make this zone a very good highlight. So this will make sure that, everything investment that you guys will make will give a good return in the end of the show. So the key highlights that we want to achieve all this is just want to make sure that MIHAS this time around, we have an international presence, more prominent, and of course, a very high impact business matching and a very dynamic engagement across all clusters in every exhibition hall. So hopefully, you guys will be able to actually see how all these changes we want to make sure that MIHAS this time around will give you a better new experience. Yeah. So that's about the floor plan. I would also like to share with you the slides next after this. Other than what we put on the floor. Next, please. Okay, in a nutshell, this is the halal in artificial intelligence to integrate the whole entire systems of the old ways and the new one that we have this time around. We have all the business cases There are about 6 there, and this is the blueprint to make sure that you will have another, again, reason, a better experience of MIHAS this time around. As you can see, the first one, we talk about exhibitor recruitment. We want to have these notable features where we have this registrations intelligent, knowledge concierge to ensure prevented high quality, exhibitors and participants and everybody as far as the involvement is concerned. And as for the biosourcing efficiency, we have these identity features of B2B matchmaking. We try to resolve halal's complexity. On the operational governance, of course, the distinctive features where organizer center is concerned, driven insight dashboard and onboarding to provide a real-time transparent visibility into the health registration velocity of the whole entire awareness and branding and everything as far as the ROI of being part of the show. And the global market connectivity, the key characteristics features that we're going to present to you guys on the virtual event integrations and the dubbing. Yeah, of course, not to mention about the VIP stakeholder importance and the prestige of having this notably features about the reservation system, attendee interest mapping, so that we can have a better control and management of all the VIP and stakeholders involvement. And the last one, which quite interesting among all, is the noteworthy features of CRM strategy, having AI to engineer it, because not only during the 4 days during the show, but you are also be able to engage with all business partners or business associates, whoever get involved in MIHAS in a year, just in the next, after the show, 2 years for the coming next MIHAS. So you always keep engage and then do your business transaction discussions or whatever you call it in this AI blueprint for trust. Yeah. So this will be the new features, the new experience that we will bring to MIHAS 22nd series this time now. Okay. Now, the most important I think you guys would like to know is the one next after this. Yeah, next please. Okay. How to participate, how much it will cost. As you can see on the screen, we have 2 types of participations. The positions you serve in this 22nd series of MIHAS. Base space minimum 18 square meter. It's a self-explanatory. And also we have the second option, space and shell scheme only. So as you know, base space is only base space, and then you have to build your booth. For this matter, the minimum requirements that you have to get is 18 square meter. But shell scheme, the minimum is 9 square meter, and this comes as the pictures shown just next to it. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I'm going to share with you now, maybe right after this, I'm going to share you the contact details in the list of contacts about the people who are actually in charge in selling and actually in charge in making your participations as smooth as possible, as seamless as possible. And we will discuss about the offer and whatever that you have in mind. Try to match your budget and any other related to as far as the exhibition is concerned. But my take now, as I speak, is because we are 30% taken, we have about 70% to go in 5 months' time. The one that I want to share with you is of course, you will definitely try to look for a very good strategic location in which that is selling very, very fast. So what we can do now, it has to start with something so that we can actually start with our negotiations to try to match with your requirements, budgets, and resources. So first thing first, get back to us with all those people that listed in the list of contact, book a place, then we will talk about the package according to your budget. Yeah. Why we did this? Because we know the tensions and the uncertainties that's happening in the world today. And we will try to make all these options offer to suit your requirement to make sure that we still see at least the same people players, or perhaps maybe another increase 10 to 20%. because as you know that MIHAS this time around has already established for over 20 years track record. So again, it actually represent and get away to the market in this region. So I guess that we want to keep that momentum, the least to say. So I guess that's all. Again, the last slides that I want to share with you, the list of contact. Next, please. These are the people. And these are the list of people, personnel that will help you and share with you how to position your brands and establishment in the MIHAS 2020 series this time around. And to add to that too, we also have another package, which of course we will share with you, but I will not be able to give you a lot of details right now because it's quite unique, the sponsorship package. And we will share with you that on a personal basis once you contact one of those personnel in this slide. Yeah, I guess Puan Hura, that's all from my side. Yeah, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Aklan, for those practical tips. Knowing how to stand out in the global showcase is essential for any businesses who are looking to scale. So next, it is my pleasure to welcome Ms. Zuhaila Siddiq for the next session. She is the Senior Manager of the Halal F&B and Agro-Based section here in MATRADE. She will be sharing an overview of MIHAS and strategies to maximize your presence in MIHAS 2026. Ms. Zuhaila, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Huda. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all our colleagues abroad, Your Excellencies as well. I believe that some of you are joining from the embassies as well. Welcome to our event today. We are very, very excited to host you. Yesterday, we had another session with our local counterparts, and today, this is the second webinar for the day, and we're very, very excited to share. Earlier on, you've heard from our event organizer about what you can expect at the event, very much so on the operational matters. But I think it's important when you visit an event to have a context of the industry, the ecosystem, and to enable you to find out more opportunities beyond what you have exposed to, what you have been exposed to all the while. All right, so my name is Zuhaila, and you can just call me Zuhaila later on when we have the Q&A session. And I used to be posted in Europe, and we had a lot of discussions from foreign counterparts on the topic of halal, and I can understand, there are some different angles that we look from our point of view in Malaysia as a leader in halal, and also from your point of view living abroad. And I think let's exchange notes and see where we can meet in the middle. All right, so next slide, please. So before we go into the nitty-gritty, we'd like to share with you the latest updates and a little bit of context about the Malaysian economy, particularly from the external trade point of view. Next. So globally, over the years, Malaysia has been trading with more than 200 countries. And we are actually very, very strong in external trade. And currently, in terms of trade standing globally, we are number 24th in terms of the top trading nation in the world. So for export, we are quite competitive as well, and in the top 25 number, and for import, number 24th position. So for a small nation like Malaysia with 33 million population, this is quite impressive. It says a lot about the capacity of our industries and also, our tenacity to also develop further with global counterparts. All right, next. All right. So a little bit of context again about, how did we come to this point today? So Malaysia, as I said, is a very robust nation. We do a lot of activities in manufacturing and also services, and we are also very rich in our natural resources. So back in the 1970s, we started very much so with our natural resources, commodities. Our economies was very much driven by commodities. So, and commodities are palm oil, rubber, those are very, very synonymous with Malaysia. And at that time, our total trade was only slightly above $3 billion US. But because of our strength, in entrepreneurship and the natural resources, we began to attract the attention of foreign investors. So when we receive a lot of FDIs from other nations, from Europe, from Americas, from even Asia, like Japan, we began to develop our capacity in industrialization. So manufacturing capabilities were then, developed among our own entrepreneurs, our own industries, and the development of more entrepreneurs leading up to the development of more SMEs in the nation. So today, 98%, 99% of business establishments in Malaysia, they are all SMEs level. Yeah, and we also have the mid-tier companies as well, about 1%. They are very small in size, but they have bigger capacity and they generate more value. So the SMEs are the backbone in terms of activities, entrepreneurship activities. And we still very much dependent with foreign investments because we know this is where the knowledge sharing can happen, the technology transfer can happen. So in the 1990s, we were the ASEAN tiger. Our total trade reached more than 58 billion US dollars. So it was very heavy in industrialization activities. And today, last year, our total trade exceeded $760 billion. And the economy now is very much driven by green tech, biotech, e-commerce, high value sectors like aerospace, electrical and electronics. Of course, we're always at the forefront because we have about 50 years of experience in this industry. So all these segments, it contributed to the development of Malaysia as an economic hub in South Asia. All right, next. So some of you might be wondering, what exactly does Malaysia supply to the world at? So these are some of the examples of our top performing sectors when it comes to the inclusion in a global supply chain. So of course, as I mentioned, we are very strong in E&E. We're also very strong in optical scientific equipment, rubber products, of course, natural products per se. And then even sustainable palm oil-based products. So these are the type of sectors that Malaysia is very familiar with, and we have capacity and capabilities in this segment. And of course, on top of that, now we have halal economy. So halal is basically an added value proposition that is relevant for many, many industries. All right, later on, I'm going to discuss a little bit about that. Next. So let's zoom in a little bit about this region where I'm at now. We're in a region called ASEAN, the Southeast Asian nations. We used to have 10 members. Now we have 11 members. We were very happy to welcome our latest addition to the family, which is Timor-Leste. So ASEAN as a region is a very, very robust region right now, and a lot of attention has been given on this region because we have a strong GDP exceeding 3 trillion US dollars. We have a growing population right now, 680 million population, and a growing middle class with stronger purchasing power. So that's why, it is very ideal right now for many businesses to look to ASEAN in doing business there. So that's why MIHAS can act as a platform for you to explore what kind of business that you can discover and find your collaborators here as well. So globally, ASEAN is the 5th largest economy, and we do a lot of trade among ASEAN nations as well. But the region does a lot of excellent trade with China, the US, the EU countries. Sorry. Yeah. Can we get someone to mute their microphone, please? Thank you. All right, so next, Shakina. All right, so I just want to bring your attention a little bit about the free trade agreements that Malaysia is a signatory to. So currently we have about 18 free trade agreements encompassing 28 countries. And FTA is a very important tool for the country. It contributes to more than 65% for our trade performance. And we have 9 regional FTAs through ASEAN, and we have 9 bilateral FTAs. So as you can see, 2 top FTA that I would like to maybe bring your attention to would be RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and also CPTPP, Comprehensive Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership. very mouthful, but this is also very, very important. So RCEP comprises around 15 members and CPTPP 12 members. So for those who are thinking about operating from Malaysia, if you want to invest in Malaysia, you can also leverage on the benefits of this FTA using a Malaysian entity. And of course, FTA is a tool to liberalize trade movement, simplify the supply chain, addressing the tariff barrier and also the non-tariff barriers. So a lot of benefits from the FTA. So again, if you want to explore how you can start doing business or maybe setting up shop here in Malaysia by investing here, you can also look at the benefits and the clauses of the RCEP to do your research. Yeah. All right. So next. And let's talk about the halal prospect for your business. I think, a lot of people still very much skewed towards the element of F&B. But there's more than meets the eye when it comes to halal, and we wish to share with you or articulate the values of the other segments within halal pillar that you can explore further. All right, so next. All right, so halal, as you know, back then it used to be known as an exclusive niche for only the Muslim consumers. And it's only, people thought that it's only relevant to just meat and poultry, anything protein, but actually, right now, halal is a dynamic and huge segment that a lot of people are starting to tap into. It serves more than 2 billion Muslim market. I'm sure that you're aware of this as well. And this 2 billion market size is a loyal consumers, a steady loyal consumers, and shouldn't be ignored. And in the case of F&B, it goes beyond meat products as well, like dairy, baked goods, snacks, ready to eat. And it also covers, best supply chain practices and governance through warehousing, transportation, and logistics. So for those who are in these segments, for example, logistics, you can also come and take part in MIHAS. This is also one of the growing segments at MIHAS that we want to push further because especially in the current situation, there's a need to really look into how to reinvent the way we do things or collaborate through logistics. And of course, halal is now a trend or an economy entity that is being driven by Southeast Asian diaspora of Muslims and as well in Europe and North America. So next. And because of all of these, over the years, halal is no longer a demographic niche, ladies and gentlemen. It has evolved into a universal benchmark for quality, safety, and ethical consumption. So these are the kind of narrative and values that we want to champion at MIHAS. So when you come, if you decide to come to MIHAS and everything goes well, please do, talk about the quality, the safety of your product, your ethical consumption that you've gotten through your halal certification. So there's a strong market growth in this segment, and currently the halal economy is valued at $3.5 trillion US. But in 2030, in 4 years' time, it's going to jump to $5 trillion US. There's very much driven by the expanding halal industry scope. It covers, finance, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and there's emerging high growth sectors also being observed, particularly in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, especially in the API supply. And e-commerce and digital adoption among businesses in the halal industry is very robust, including in the area of Muslim education. There's also one segment that is growing very, very positively. And the adoption of halal among non-Muslims as well, because they relate halal to safe, highest quality and ethical standard. All right, so next. And because of that, halal is now one of the world's top 10 industries. It even competes with all these legacy industries like healthcare, pharmaceutical, even energy, automotive and mobility. So there's a potential for this particular segment to grow even further because, like I said, it's an added value proposition for any industries. It basically says that you can do well by doing good. So that's the central message of halal in this respect. Next. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it's okay, we can maintain here at this slide. Previously, there were a number of policies that you can also explore, but The unique thing about halal economy in Malaysia, halal industry in Malaysia, is being governed by the government itself, and then we have a lot of ministries, agencies looking into every aspect of the development, including market access, capacity building, industry well-being. So these are the elements that are being governed by different ministries, agencies, very well structured. So because of that, halal is considered a national asset and national agenda because it adds value to everything that we do. And when we observe, do a little bit more observation, we see a lot of intersections between halal standards and ESG mandates as well as ISO benchmarks. So a lot of similar qualities. So in a way, achieving halal compliance, it provides a structural shortcut to fulfill global ESG and ISO requirements as well, making it a critical risk mitigation tool for you. That's why, it's no longer about compliance alone, but also about being involved in halal as a competitive edge, to gain your competitive edge, right? So next. And again, halal is fast gaining momentum in terms of demand because people see it as ethical. And also halal has been recognized by ITC, International Trade Center, as one of the world's voluntary sustainability standards. So, and you can share this with your counterparts, who have yet to really understand halal and might have a certain, being misinformed about halal. You can share all this information with them. And halal relates very much to fair trade and food security as well. All right, next. And these are some examples of the ISOs in Malaysia that are relevant to halal. And one of the things I forgot to mention earlier, I mentioned about, Malaysia began to receive a lot of FDIs in the 1970s, right? So one of the investments that we've gotten was with Nestle, and Nestle is still here. And Nestle has made Malaysia their hub for halal manufacturing for the world. So, but when they came, it generated, there's a spillover impact. They require halal supply chain, and this requires the local companies to reinvent themselves, and venture into halal even more. That's why in Malaysia, halal industry, it doesn't matter whether you're Muslim owned or non-Muslim owned, everybody benefit from halal, and they want to go into halal because they know it adds credibility to their brand. And of course, in Malaysia, JAKIM is the custodian for certification of halal. And right now, JAKIM certification is considered as a gold standard for the world, the benchmark for the other halal standards. Next. We can go to the next slide. I think our audiences might get the gist by now. And some examples of the technology involved in halal. And if you have companies, or if you have your counterparts that are in the tech industry, they can also explore MIHAS. You see, it's not just limited to just the end product related to F&B. You can also talk about technology. For example, there's new halal food testing technologies for portion tests. Using nanosensors, technology kit for halal detection, like the COVID test that's already being developed. Process technology related to halal, refrigeration and air conditioning technology, even gases. There's also halal certified gases. And I mentioned earlier to the audience in our earlier webinar, all these things is, when you get certification for non-conventional segments, it's not necessarily because of the religious factor. It's not just to fit the religious requirements, but also about the process. It's basically, when you have halal certification and all this technology, all this process flow, you are injecting steroid. It's like quality control on steroid. So that's why halal is the best of the best. It's the highest quality because you ensure every movement of your supply chain is very well governed. Not only from, the content of materials, the raw ingredients, but also how you place them, where you place them, how you label things, How do you manage your workers? So these are the things that are involved in halal certification that many might not be aware of. So when you come to MIHAS, we can talk about this even further, but also, from your country's point of view, if you have strength in specific process in the development of or in the process of manufacturing, you can also, let us know. Maybe we can brainstorm collaborations to talk about halal in that particular segment. All right, next. So halal industry in Malaysia. Okay, next. All right. So again, we want to increase our global exports when it comes to halal. But right now we're not doing that bad, but it's growing still. We have reached the 61.8 billion ringgit Malaysia in halal exports in 2024. Our latest figure for 2025 will be announced soon by our sister agency Halal Development Corporation. But also halal industry is very important in Malaysia because it creates job opportunities. So currently it contributes to 350,000 jobs for halal industry, and we have about 14 halal parks in Malaysia. We call them halmas. So they are all over Malaysia, and they provide a manufacturing hub for companies to do halal manufacturing and to do halal supply. For example, we have the PKFZ in Malaysia, which is like very close to a logistics site, about 15-20 minutes away from the port. So this is the kind of facilitation the government is offering to facilitate or to ease the process of global businesses to do halal business in Malaysia. Next. And some examples of ministries and agencies that are involved in the halal industry in Malaysia. Of course, halal certification, we have JAKIM, and we have the education and research centers. We have plenty of innovation centers at universities as well, dedicated halal innovation center, by the way. And you can also explore collaboration with them. If you have universities in your countries that might have, some compatibility to do cross study, for example. And in terms of market access or particularly export promotion, we have our agency MATRADE. In investment, we have MIDA and Halal Development Corporation. Do contact them if you want to know more about the incentive or facilitation offered to investors. And capacity building, we also have plenty Malaysian agencies that are supporting our entrepreneurs to be very ready in supplying to the world. And of course, not to forget our industry association. This is very important. They work very closely with MATRADE to funnel all the opportunities, the issues, especially in the current geopolitical landscape. We work very closely with them, particularly in the area of halal as well. And all of these, the initiatives that are being rolled out by ministries and agencies, they're all aligned with the Halal Industry Master Plan 2030. So this is our basically policy book to ensure the development of halal. And down there at the bottom of this slide, you can see some examples of Malaysian companies that are doing very, very well in halal. Islamic finance, we have Maybank Islamic. Pharmaceutical, we have Pharma Niaga. Kawan Food, they are in the F&B industry. And Bubbles, they produce mineral water with high oxygen content. Power Root, they produce coffee products. Mummy, also Duo Pharma, Pops Malaya, FNS, so many. So these are the players that you can meet at MIHAS, and you can discuss, how we can collaborate together to enjoy market access in both areas in Malaysia and also in your country. Next. So, like I mentioned earlier, we have 14 halal park, or we call halmas. They are located strategically all around Malaysia, and it encompasses around 200,000 acres of land size, ready for investors, industry players to start tapping into expanding into Southeast Asia. Like I said, Southeast Asia is a very robust region, and a lot of people are looking into doing more business in this part of the world because they see stability, they see steady demand and purchasing power, and also very strong policies in place, particularly for Malaysia. If you look at, we are very well governed, especially in the area of halal. So we would like to take this opportunity to invite you to come to MIHAS and explore Malaysia. And if you have the time, you can also go quickly to Thailand, to all our friends all over ASEAN, to Indonesia, Timor-Leste. So it's very easy in terms of connectivity in Asia, in ASEAN from Malaysia. Next. All right, so MIHAS, let's talk a little bit more about MIHAS. Thank you to Encik Aklan for sharing the important information earlier. But next. But I do want to share a little bit more about, what else you can do at MIHAS to ensure that your participation, your presence at MIHAS is, very, very, you're going to have the best experience when you're here. So again, MIHAS, this year will be our 22nd edition. We started in 2004. And today we have grown as the world's biggest halal trade event, and this year is going to happen from the 23rd until 26th of September at MITEC in Kuala Lumpur. So set your calendar and start looking at your ticket. I know transportation costs can be challenging, so that's why you should start doing your research now. I would highly encourage that. Next. And last year, we've generated total sales of 1.5 billion US dollars, mainly from three components at MIHAS. So we have, of course, the exhibition side, the showcase where you can display your brands and products. But we also have our signature B2B matching program. For Malaysian companies, we have a dedicated international sourcing program, or the INSP, that we have organized for many, many years. And this is where we carefully match them with buyers from all around the world. So it's like speed dating for businesses. But for our foreign participations, you also have similar experience through our hosted buyer program, where you will be able to enjoy the opportunity to with Malaysian buyers. So if you take part in MIHAS and you exhibit, and you have the opportunity to, we will be able to match you with the right buyers. And this is different than using, I know that, I have a lot of experience going to many trade fairs around the world, and I know that we use a lot of apps, right, to do business matching. But sometimes technology expedites the process, but again, the wisdom of humans still play a lot of an important role. This is where, to ensure good quality human intervention is quite important still. So we are going to use AI technology as a tool, but when it comes to ensuring that you meet the right buyers, we do have human intervention in that respect. So do check out this particular program. I highly recommend this. And of course, if you participate, you're also eligible to enjoy this hosted buyer program. Of course, terms and conditions apply. Next. All right, the 14 clusters that we mentioned, beyond F&B, do inform your industry communities that those in food tech, e-commerce, Islamic finance, franchise, education, Muslim-friendly travel, media and recreation, modest fashion event, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, they can also take part in MIHAS. So think big. Think what else can be done at MIHAS rather than just, having your booth and you set up your brands and then that's it. You got to add value to your participation. So you can do a lot of meetings. You can engage with thought leaders here in the halal sphere. So make full use of the event and let us know if you have any customized requests that you want to discuss with us. We're very open to explore the opportunities. Next. And the 6 components at MIHAS, of course, the 3 items that I mentioned earlier. On top of that, we also have the MIHAS Award. This would recognize, companies that are innovative, sustainable, and a lot of categories offered. We can share the details to you via email later. And of course, we have Knowledge Hub. This is a conference and forum where you get to share stories about your innovation, stories about your best practices, stories about how you overcome challenges. So this is where you will not only learn about the industry, but also network. This is where actually you get to meet new people. This is very important. I think in business, it's all about networking, right? It's who you know and also knowing them at the right time. So do make full use of this platform to get to know players from Southeast Asia. And the new element, the latest baby of MIHAS would be Women in Export. This is a dedicated space for Malaysian female entrepreneurs, particularly involved in global business. We want to position them or elevate or push them further in this industry, in national trade. So we have a dedicated program for them. But if you have have industry association or NGOs or group of female enthusiasts, businesses or entrepreneurs who are very keen to network or expand their footprint in Southeast Asia through Malaysia, they can do so at MIHAS. So let us know, and maybe we can match you with potential collaborators as well. All right, so next. And one thing that I would like to also highlight to you is that we have what we call the Madani Digital Trade Platform, or MDT. So MDT is basically the virtual version of MIHAS. So if you want to take part in this offers you the opportunity to be present in the halal space throughout the year. Right, so usually what happens after MIHAS ends, you got to think about the follow-up, the follow-through, the continuous engagement in branding and marketing. So this is where you can leverage in through our MDT. We can also share the details, and you can also go to our website and you can explore this platform. There's like very interactive showcase. You have 3D elements, you have 2D elements, and the different packages, of course. But this is where you get to engage with the other companies through this platform. We have a database of Malaysian companies. I think right now about 5,000 Malaysian companies. It has increased probably. But if you want to know more about this, do explore on our website and just to play around and see how it feels. Next. All right, and because of all these elements that I've shared to you about MIHAS, we have been recognized by many parties. For example, we've won award for the best use of digital technology at the World Trade Promotion Organization Awards in 2022. Also, we have been recognized by UFI, and we also has been recognized by Guinness World Records in 2024 as the largest attendance for halal trade show. So these are some of the key recognitions that we've gained over the years. Next. And of course, this year is the Visit Malaysia year. So I would highly recommend that you use MIHAS as an excuse to do business with Malaysia and Southeast Asia, and at the same time use the opportunity to also explore all over Malaysia. We have like really fantastic islands, beaches, and also we have Borneo, Sabah, and Sarawak. We have really very nice hospitality industry, and most importantly, Malaysians are very hospitable. So I've never met anyone who thinks that Malaysians are not friendly. We sometimes are over friendly. So but this is basically our one of our strengths. So come to MIHAS and explore Malaysia at the same time. You spend 23rd to 26th to do business at MIHAS, and then after that maybe expand to a week with your family or your friends to explore this country. All right, next. Next. And if you want to discuss further to see what other opportunities out there for you, right? Sorry. You can also get connected to our MATRADE trade offices. We have about 47 offices worldwide, and at all these major cities. You can just go to our website as well, go to our global network and choose the office that is nearest to you, and contact them and ask how you can get connected to industry players, and also to understand about Malaysia, the industry here, the retail market here. You can also discuss with us on understanding the context of doing business with Malaysia. So do engage with us. We are always open for discussion. And next. And next, yes. And then to think about how exactly you can work with us, right? So this is, I think, often overlooked, but I think it's important for me to suggest some areas of discussions that you can brainstorm. So of course, we can talk about B2B matching at MIHAS. That's also one thing that we can explore together. And perhaps another area that we can look into is joint distributorship. If you have a network of your distributors, we can also match them with our distributors. We can do joint efforts. That's a possibility. And also sales representative. If you want to bring a group of companies to have your own pavilion at MIHAS, we can then work on the sales representative element. And then when you're here and your industries want to talk about OEM activities, activities. We can talk about joint OEM, because we know that non-trade barriers is quite a prevalent issue among our businesses when they want to do market access, right? So they can leverage on each other's setup in respective countries. And of course, like I mentioned, we have a number of innovation centers that they have a lot of innovations. They are very good at inventing, but sometimes the stumbling block would come at how to commercialize the innovations, right? So in some countries, for example, Germany and France, you have very strong tech industry, and perhaps you can discover the innovations that we have and see how you can commercialize them. We have the innovation in halal, but we need support in scaling it. So perhaps that's where you can come in. So this is also an area that we can explore. And of course, e-commerce, if you have your platform that you want to explore, doing something through MIHAS, you can also share with us the idea. Market linkers also is a possibility, and targeted programs. So if you want to do a very specialized program, for example, we have other elements at MIHAS like kitchen, the MIHAS kitchen. And for example, if you want to position Korean food, for example, halal Korean food, so you can have, our counterparts in South Korea, they can explore MIHAS kitchen to do cooking demonstration. So that's a possibility, you see. So beyond having exhibition featuring your products, you can also do networking and this kind of engagements for high value engagements. And of course, if you have your startups community, we welcome them to explore MIHAS. We are also looking at working with venture capitalists. This is also one area that I think we can explore together. And I think the quick wins would be PR and communication. If you want to share information and then do co-branding, right? That's also a possibility. This is the easiest thing that we can do to position, to see the different elements of our halal strength and how we actually match with each other. And then we can talk about diversification strategy. So how can we work together for your companies to do well in Malaysia and Southeast Asia, and similarly how our Malaysian companies can do well in your country and vice versa. And of course, we can talk about capacity building programs, conferences, forum, roundtables. So these are the things that we can also discuss together at MIHAS. So next. I think that's it from me. And if you have anything to share, you can always email to our main secretariat, managing MIHAS at mitrade.gov.my. You can also email to me via at zuhaila@matrade.gov.my. And we look forward to hearing from you more about your ideas and your wish list and any other possibilities that we can explore together at MIHAS. And with that, I would like to end my presentation. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Zuhaila, for the information. It's very insightful and it will help strategize your participation in MIHAS 2026. Before we move to the next session, I would like to request all participants to switch on your camera, as we would like to take a group photo before we proceed to our next session. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, I'll give like a few seconds for everybody to switch on their camera. Okay. Screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Next page. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We will proceed to our next session. Today, I must say that it's interesting to have this privilege to hear from two inspiring and dynamic speakers. I'm sure everyone is more prepared more prepared for MIHAS 2026. Now we have come to the last segment of our webinar, which is the Q&A session. Feel free to drop in your questions in the chat box, and we shall try to share it during the Q&A. While I wait for the first question, I would like to ask Ms. Zuhaila, Ms. Suhaila, the Hosted Buyer program is an interesting program that is specifically tailored for our for the foreign companies. Can you please share what these companies can leverage on through the program?
All right. Thank you so much, Huda. Yes, definitely. I think in the current situation, right, the feedback that I've gotten from a lot of industry players is that they require very dedicated and very customized and, direct engagement and support in business matching. Times are very difficult. We have to work together and work very well together. So what we do at MIHAS is creating that platform for you to work together well. So what we need from you is information of your case studies, your businesses that you want to position and the kind of segments that they want to venture into. And our team here through our event organizer, ES exhibition, they will be able to facilitate by ensuring that they get this information and then they match with the right buyers. So hosted buyers program is a very, I think, is a very carefully curated initiative by Malaysia in in promoting reciprocal trade. So it's not just about, we are pushing only our exporters. No, it's a global event. We also want to support you. So we have to support each other in making sure that everybody is included in global supply chain. So how we do this, we have to work together. And this is one of our examples on the dedication that we are putting in to ensure that everybody get a piece of the cake, right? Okay, thank you, Huda.
All right. Ms. Suhaila, can you also share with us the type of Malaysian retailers that will be joining in the program?
Oh yeah, we have like big players like Mydin. Mydin is like a retail store, very well known, and they're present all over Malaysia. We also have brands like 7-Eleven here, and we can always share the list of our previous buyers. But of course, we have yet to conclude the list of our buyers for this year, but we'll definitely share the list with you, and then we'll get in touch with you. So for those who want to participate in this program, of course, they have to provide the details of their companies, and of course, our buyers must also look at the credentials and the capabilities of these companies before they can actually decide to meet them. So we definitely are going to work with, there's a certain threshold of buyers that we're looking at. Of course, there's like low first tier, second tier, third tier buyers. So we will categorize this and share with everybody moving forward. So don't worry about that.
Okay, Ms. Suhaila. Next, my next question is for Mr. Aklan. Beside the exhibition booth, is there any other activities that the exhibitors can tap on? Mr. Aklan?
Okay. All right. As I mentioned earlier just now, the main stage in level 3, you can actually maximize and take advantage of it because, as I said, this exhibition is just about a conventional exhibitions where people come and visit your booth. You can also use the main stage to do some product demos, to do some meetings and interactive kind of discussions with the existing maybe exhibitors, your own in the value change, or also the visitors. And every floor we have that, and like the one that we mentioned earlier in level 1 and level 2, we also have the MIHAS kitchen. You can also use that as a stage for you to actually do some product demo and also do some talks and a guided kind of a program. And that's the reason also why we emphasize still the 14 cluster, because basically the entire businesses that create and shape the economy of the world is actually now in MIHAS. So I would share that these are the best opportunity for all the potential exhibitor or participants to take advantage of this for your business future investment, because there are a lot of things. It's just not just about platform, it's everything, not just about halal too, like what one Zuhaila and also the previous dignitaries have mentioned, that MIHAS this time around will encourage everybody from all parts of the world to come over and then to meet up, to discuss and do as far as the business is concerned, in particular in halal. So there's a lot of things that's going to happen in during MIHAS this time around. There's a lot of information. As I said again, I mean, it's not easy for you guys to really digest everything in 1 hour times kind of a presentation. That's the reason why I listed the names of the personnel that's going to get engaged with you guys. So we should do the follow-up. So at least you will keep yourself abreast of all the information that Jing presented earlier just now. Yeah, and I would also like to take this opportunity, as I said again, to emphasize that whatever that price and how to position your brand, it's just merely an indications of how to get the process going. So why this time around is different is because that we really want to assist you, like what Puan Zohaila says, that let's work together to make sure that everybody that take parts in this MIAS this time around will make sure that, you know, whatever investment that you make, time, effort, resources will pay back. Yeah, so we just want to make sure that this time around you will definitely have a new experience that you will never forget. At the end of the show, you will say that MIHAS is the show that you should attend in the future to come. Thank you, Puan. That's all for me.
And thank you, Cik Clan. Huda, if I can just add, I think I would also like to emphasize the opportunity for people in the fashion industry, modest fashion industry. So if you have your contacts in your respective market, please do explore the possibility to come to Kuala Lumpur. And we have showcase, and we also have B2B matching also for the fashion industry and the craft, lifestyle and craft industry. Like if in the case of Islamic art, for example, the khat industry, you can also come to MIHAS and to look at the craft creative side of things. So that's also a possibility, to promote the export of your services in fashion or in education or in lifestyle and art. So these are the things that I think we sometimes might not emphasize too much.
Thank you very much. I think for the last question is with regards to the INSP. So as a company that is planning to source for Malaysia, how can buyers leverage on the INSP program to meet with the Malaysian companies? And is there any special arrangement for that? Puan Zohaila?
All right, so just to give a context of how the INSP works, right? So MATRADE has our global network. So our trade offices around the world, they will be sourcing for buyers from all parts of the world, and they will invite them, and then selected buyers will come and be matched with our Malaysian suppliers. But also on top of that, I think the attractiveness of this program is also very much a facilitation to buyers to expedite the process of finding the right sellers. Right now the challenge, I know that it's not easy to find the right sellers, the right suppliers that can meet the terms that you have. So that's why the INSP can support buyers as well to ensure that you meet with the right suppliers, and to also expedite the discussion in terms of terms that you want to land on. So pricing, for example, is a very challenging topic. So that's why, before we match them, we have to look at all these details beforehand. And then after the meeting, it's not going to end there. After NSP, of course, there'll be follow-up discussions. So what we do, again, the NSP is a platform for you to have this discussion. So from the buyer's perspective, I think it facilitates expedites the process of them finding the right suppliers, especially if they're looking for halal and sustainable brands.
All right, thank you very much, Puan Zohaila. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our webinar. I would like to thank our speakers for making their time today. To our audience, we truly appreciate your engagement, your questions and participation. We hope that you have gained valuable market insights, which will further assist you in your exporting journey and sourcing journey through MIHAS. Before I conclude, I would like to invite once again for all participants to scan the QR code displayed on your screen, as the Secretariat will share the slides and video recording based on the information given. With that, ladies and gentlemen, MIHAS 2026 is not just a trade exhibition. but a comprehensive platform that connects businesses, drives innovation, and opens doors to the global halal opportunities. We hope today's session will provide you with the right insights and strategies to make the most of your participation. I hope to see you in MIHAS 2026 in September. Thank you very much for joining us today.